Good morning, children. Today we are going to discuss about another important topic that is sex determination. So, it's a sex of a newborn individual is determined in different ways. Newborn individual is determined in different ways in different species. Okay, in different species, determined in different species. So mainly some species rely entirely on environmental factors. So some will be depend on environmental factors. For example, temperature. This temperature at which fertilized eggs are kept to determine the sex of the individual. Fertilized eggs. So in the proper temperature, the fertilized eggs will decide the sex of the individual. So in snails, change of sex is not genetically. So this is a very important. In snails, individuals can change the sex. Can change their sex. Sex is not genetically determined. So, in other words, the genes inherited from the parents decide the sex of the offsprings. So, genes which are coming from the parents will decide the sex of the offsprings. This point you should have to remember. In diploid, what you call it? In the diploid organisms with separate sexes, with the separate sexes, very important. In diploid organisms with separate sexes, a specific pair of sex chromosomes, sex chromosomes determines the which one the sex of the individual. So this is important. So those chromosomes are called sex chromosomes, you know very well. So all other chromosomes are called autosomes. Other than sex chromosomes are called autosomes. They are similar in shape and size. They are similar. Autosomes are similar in size and shape. So they are homologous chromosomes. So sex chromosomes are what you call autosomes are similar in size and shape. Homologous chromosomes. What about the sex chromosomes? The sex chromosomes are heterologous in different. Heterologous means different in shape and size. Okay, different in shape and size. That one you should have to remember. So in human beings, what you called very important. In human beings, most important thing is in human beings there will be 22 pairs of which one autosomes. Okay, human being 23 pairs of chromosomes. In each cell, 22 pairs of autosomes, somatic traits will be there. The 23rd pair of chromosomes determine the sex. 23rd pair of chromosomes determine the sex. That is only called sex chromosomes. The females, XX means homomorphic, both similar shape, size and structure. Similar or homomorphic. However, human males have XY chromosomes. So X chromosome is morphologically distinct from Y chromosome. So Y chromosome smaller than the X chromosome. Y chromosome is smaller than the X chromosome. So that's why dissimilar. So dissimilar heteromorphic. XY is the heteromorphic, dissimilar in conditions. During fertilization, there are equal chances that ovum is fertilized by either sperm having X chromosome or a sperm having Y chromosome. So during the fertilization, there are equal chances that ovum is fertilized by either sperm. The ovum react with either sperm having X chromosome or sperm having Y chromosome. That one you should have to remember. So eggs can react with maybe X or maybe Y. See now, this ovum react with maybe X, XX, female, XY, male. Like that zygote offsprings, females and males will be come out. So the sex of the baby determined at the time of fertilization. So the sex of the baby we can determine at the time of fertilization. That is called determining of the sex is called sex determination. In grasshoppers, what? In grasshoppers, the X chromosome, one sex chromosome only, whereas the females have two homomorphic. In males, only one X chromosome. In females, two X chromosomes. So this is a XXX0 mechanism in the grasshoppers. Like this, what we call XXXO mechanism also there in the grasshoppers. Okay, children, should listen very carefully from now onwards. Why? Because this is a very important concept in our class. Okay, observe very carefully. We are discussing about sex determination. So, sex of a newborn individual is determined in different ways in different species. Different ways in different species. So, number one, some species rarely rely entirely on environmental factors. Some species rely on entirely on environmental factors. Thus, in some animals, the temperature at which fertilized eggs are kept determine the sex of the individual. So, temperature, fertilized eggs kept the sex of the individual. In snails, the individuals genetically, in snails, what will happen? The sex will be changed. So this is a very important. Individuals can change. Okay, individuals can change sex, indicating that sex is not genetically determined. Sex is not genetically determined. An individual, sex of the individual is what is called changed. That's why it's genetically not determined. It's not determined. Sex of the individual is genetically determined. So this one is not genetically determined. However, in human beings, sex is genetically determined. Snail, they will change their sex. That's why sex is not genetically determined. Humans, it will be genetically determined. So, genetically determined. This point you should have to remember. Okay. So, sex is not genetically determined in the snails. Human sex is genetically determined. So, in other words, genes inherited from the parents decide the sex of the offsprings. Okay, in other words, genes inherited from the parents decide the sex of the offsprings. Genes inherited from the parents decide the sex of the offsprings. In diploid organisms with separate sexes, a specific pair of sex chromosomes determine the sex of the individual. So once again, in other words, genes inherited from the parents decide the sex of the offsprings. Genes will be decides the sex of the offsprings in diploid organisms with separate sexes. So a specific pair of sex chromosomes determines the sex of the individual. A specific pair of sex chromosomes determine the sex of the individual. Sex chromosomes, all other chromosomes are called autosomes. Autosomes are similar in size and shape. So other than the sex chromosomes are called autosomes. These autosomes similar in shape and structure, size and shape. That is the reason these autosomes are called what do you call these autosomes are called homologous chromosomes. Homo means similar, homologous chromosomes. So that is the first point to remember. In humans, how many sex chromosomes are heterologous? Because different size and shape. Autosomes are similar in size and shape, that's why homologous chromosomes. The sex chromosomes are heterologous. Why? Because different shape and size. So, in humans, another important point to remember. In humans, there will be 20 to 23 pairs of chromosomes. In humans, how many? 23 pairs of chromosomes in each cell. So, 22 pairs chromosome genes, somatic, general natural characters, they are called autosomes. But 23rd pair, extra pair is there or not? The 23rd pair of chromosomes determine the sex. That is only most important. That's only XY. So XY chromosomes only will determine the what you call sex of the offsprings. That's why they are called sex chromosomes. The female have homomorphic. XX means homomorphic. The males have XY heteromorphic. Why homo? What is the meaning of homomorphic and heteromorphic? That is important. Homomorphic means same shape, same structure, same function, same as it is. That's the reason that is called. Which one? The XX females. XX chromosomes are called which one? Homomorphic, morphologically similar. Homo means similar. Morphic means morphologically. So homomorphic, morphologically similar are called homomorphic. The males XY, they are called heteromorphic. Why heteromorphic? X chromosome. The males is heteromorphic. The X chromosome is bigger. Y chromosome is smaller. X chromosome is bigger. The Y chromosome is smaller. Bigger, smaller. Heteromorphic. Heteromorphic. This is important point. Homomorphic and heteromorphic points you should have to remember. You see the fertilization diagram. The male have how many XY chromosomes, right? Male have XY chromosomes. Female have XX. So what are the gametes? X, Y. Female only X gamete. So XX, XY. This is forms the zygote, right? Here the zygote. Zygote XX zygote develop into offspring female. XY zygote develop into offspring male. So I got offspring females and males. This one you should have to remember. Here ovum. That is their wish. This ovum, if suppose this X will joins with X in the sense XX. So this X will be joins with XX means zygote female. If X joins with this Y joins with the X in the sense, that is called male. Like this, the chromosomes will be decides the sex chromosomes will be decides the sex of the offsprings. So that is the most important point to remember. So what I am saying here, temperature also will be decided. For example, parthenogenesis. Some without fertilization only will produces the new one. Some with fertilization. So some temperature will decide. Some temperature fertilizer means female or male. Fertilizer not there in the sense male or female. Like that. So some environmental factors affects the fertilizer X affects the fertilization of X, and the sex of the individual will be decided. In snails, what will happen? They can change their sex. Then what they confirmed sex is not genetically determined. But later, in humans, what they confirmed, so sex is genetically determined. In other words, genes. Genes, where the genes are present. Come on, genes are present in the DNA. So DNA, DNA structure. Double helical structure, the deoxyribose nucleic acid present in the chromosome, DNA involved in the transcription, translation, okay, protein, like that we discussed, right? So the genes inherited from the parents decides also, which are coming from the parents, the genes will decide the sex of the offsprings in diploid organisms, okay, the separate sexes. So a specific pair of sex chromosomes determines the sex of individual we discussed. Those are called sex chromosomes. So that is about the most important point to remember. What is what you call next? Grasshoppers. So X ZW also system is there. Male heterogamete XY, female heterogamete ZW, like that. There will be male homozygous also will be there. So, but in our syllabus, XY method and XXX0 method also there they given in our syllabus. X0 is the only one chromosome in the males. So grasshoppers, you see, only in the males of grasshopper one chromosome only is there, that is X0, only X1 chromosome. But if you see in the females, see X0, if you see in the females, what is there? XX is there, both are there. So that's why the grasshoppers X will become and XX, one will be female will come, one will be male will come. So like that, that kind of determination is called, that kind of identification of sex of the grasshoppers is called XX-X0 mechanism. What is called? XX-X0 mechanism. Okay. So what is the definition of the sex determination? How can you define the sex determination? That is important. So first, the sex determination means, observe very carefully. So the sex of the baby is determined at the time of fertilization. When at the time of fertilization. What's the meaning of fertilization? The combination of male and female gamete is called fertilization. How many types of fertilizations? Internal fertilization, external fertilization. So internal fertilization means inside of the female body, the male and female gametes join together in the sense that is called internal fertilization. If outside of the body the male and female gametes joining together in the sense, that will be called external fertilization. External fertilization is very dangerous and very bad. Why? Because they will not the embryos not protected by the body individual, the predators will come and will eat the embryos. There is no security. But internal fertilization, security is more, so we can say. So fertilization time, at the time of fertilization, what you can do is observe very carefully. So the determinant of the baby sex at the time of fertilization is called, or the mechanism by which the sex of an individual determined at the beginning of life. So sex determination at the beginning of the life is only called the mechanism only. At the time of the beginning, the determination of sex is only called sex determination. So these kind of what you called concepts are there in your lesson, sex determination. So what are the need bits to discuss here? Number one, the chromosomes which determine the sex of the baby is called sex chromosome, first need bit. So what is that one? That is a first need bit. This is the first need bit. Need. Next, second need bit. How many autosomes? There are 22 pairs of autosomes. How many sex chromosomes? Okay, only one pair. Only one pair. 22 plus 1, 23 pair. That one pair X and Y. X and Y. So next. So the females XX, what we called? It is called homomorphic. What is the meaning of homomorphic? Similar in shape and size and structure, similar in function, similar in appearance. So that's why it will be called homomorphic. Why males are heteromorphic? Because XY chromosomes. Why X chromosomes? X chromosome is larger than Y chromosome and X chromosome functions are different. Y chromosome functions also will be different. So appearance is different, performance also different. That's why the male Y chromosomes are called what is called heteromorphic. Homomorphic, heteromorphic. Then fertilization. What is a fertilization? Combination of male and female gametes. So XX, XY methods in the males. So in the XX only one X ovum. So XY two chromosomes. You know X plus Y. So that X maybe joins with X chromosome means female. That X ovum joins with Y means it will be XY. It will be for male. Like that, that kind of sex determination is called XX XY mechanism. In the grasshopper, what is called XX X0 mechanism. X is the only one X chromosome in the grasshopper, two chromosomes in the female. So that is a sex determination will be there. What is the parthenogenesis? That also important. Without fertilization, there will be production of, without fertilization, the production of gametes is called what is called fertilization. That is the most important point to remember. So the without fertilization production of individual, for example, worker bee, queen bee, like that bees, varieties of beans are there. So they will be produced. Some workers without fertilization or drones without fertilization they can produce by the help of parthenogenesis. That is different. That is without fertilization will be there. But here with fertilization only we discussed in the next year or next concepts we will discuss about some other points about fertilization.